Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Planning and Environment Committee today, Monday, the 13th of April, 2026. Welcome to anyone joining us on YouTube. My name is Councillor Sue Camp. Public questions? Good. Apologies for absence.
Apologies from Councillor Barley, Councillor Williams, Councillor Daniel, Councillor Whiteman and Councillor O'Hara.
Thank you. Requests for dispensations. Declarations of interest. None so far. Minutes. To receive and agree the minutes from the Planning and Environment Committee held on the 30th of March this year. The minutes are pages 5 to 14. Any debate or comment on any of those? Can we vote to agree them, please? All in favour? Thank you. Item 5, application considered under the Chair's action, that's on page 15, to note that a recommendation for approval for the below planning application was processed under Chair's action on the 7th of April this year with the agreement of the Town Clerk and the delegated authority and in consultation with the ward members. The action was taken as the Planning and Environment Committee had not reached a resolution on the application when it was considered on the 30th of March, due to having considered it to fall outside the Town Council's boundary. The case officer had subsequently confirmed that the application lies within the relevant ward boundary. So that was the Business Park Vestry Road. So comments were put forward. Councillor Shea, do you want to say something there?
Just a mea culpa, sorry. Almost all of the vestry estate is in Oxford, apart from, as it turns out, 3 doors. And it's one of those 3. So my apologies for creating extra workload. It didn't change the recommendation.
Thank you very much for that. And we will know now in the future those 3 doors. Item 6, Kent County Council proposed amendment 17, awaiting restrictions order. That's pages 17 and 21. Received notice that KCC has published deposit documents with proposed order for amendment 17, awaiting restrictions order on Holbush Lane. This proposes to remove a section of the parking bay on the west side and replace with double yellow lines at a point 21 metres north of its junction with Avenue Road for a distance of 6 metres in a northerly direction. To note that representation supporting or objecting to the proposed order can be made via KCC's website or via the below link until the 20th of April 2026 and to decide whether the Town Council submits a formal response. So the link is shown there. Would we like to submit a formal response? Need to practice that. Is that
Can I make a comment?
yes, by all means.
I do live on Holbush Lane, not the bit that's affected, but the bit that's one way from the Dartford Road up. Please, will somebody make the signs on the roads and on the poles clear that it's a one-way street? Because I see cars going at some speed in the wrong direction every day.
Okay. So that bit falls into Easton, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want to make any comment on that? Well, the proposed double yellow lines?
Not really. I mean, I just agree with this. I
Yeah.
think it's a very sort of
Can we make the other point?
Yes, we'll make the other point
Yeah,
that you
definitely,
just said, because the
Because
road,
it's really so dangerous.
so the road should,
And the roads coming into that bit of the lane, also those markings should be clear again, because they're not.
okay,
They're nearly rubbed out.
all right, so we need to do that. We can make that comment. Councillor Clayton?
Are these the lines that we did the consultation on?
No.
No, they're not.
This is due to somebody having a new driveway created, which was a part of the previous one.
Ah, okay.
Things that double yellow lines are meant to make things safer. Any other comments in relation to that? So we agree with them, and also the comments from Councillor Kenny. Did you want to say anything, Councillor Payne?
No, I support comments from Councillor Keller, and they can do that certainly.
Okay, so can we vote on that as our response, please? All in favour? Thank you.
Yeah.
Street naming and numbering, item 7, notification of new addresses, that's pages 23 to 31. To receive notice and plans of a new dwelling on the site of 28 The Rise, which has been addressed by Val DeVee, 28A The Rise. To receive notice and plans for part of the new development on the site of 6 to 10B Victoria Road, which have been renamed 6 Victoria Road, flats 138 Victoria Road and 8A Victoria Road. The remaining unbuilt dwellings will be renamed at a later date. So we note all of those. Planning applications, we're on to those now. So the first one is land north east of Magistrates Court. That's Councillor Gusford.
Oh, yes, so these are parameter plans for landscape and building heights have now been provided. The previously submitted plans remain relevant, though they are indicative. So this is the proposal to develop the vacant land next to the Magistrates Court, which we've seen a few times. It was discussed recently, but has come back with updated drawings, a very rudimentary landscape layout of the site, including the footpaths, and a block plan indicating the building heights compared to those in the vicinity. But although we're told the number of stories, there are no specific measurements or drawings, updated drawings. Basically, the 28 dwellings will be located in two buildings, a 3-story block at the front of the site, and I think previously it was a combination of 2 and 3 stories, and a 4-story block on the right-hand side. Since it was discussed in February, there have been further responses received and available on the planning portal, mostly linked to issues that we have discussed previously, but as there's an update, I'll give it to you. So on affordable housing, the District Council's housing policy has confirmed that the development does trigger the requirement for 40% affordable housing, and have requested that a detailed response providing details of how the requirement will be fulfilled is provided. On flood risk, KCC has requested a condition be placed on the development for a detailed sustainable surface water drainage scheme for the site to be submitted and approved before any development takes place. And on neighbouring amenity, the Courts and Tribunal Service have submitted an objection raising concerns about loss of privacy and disruption to the business of the courts during construction. The staff car park is located at the rear of the Magistrates Court, and it uses, and there's an access way from Warwood Close to the car park, and that same access point is proposed to be the access point to the new development. So they have concerns about when there's construction work going on, how that might impact the work of the courts. There are people coming and going all day. So they have raised those concerns, and they've requested that and they've also pointed out the submitted transport plan does not address this issue. So they've requested an outline construction environmental management plan and be provided. So I have updated our recommendation from last time to say approval provided that the planning officer is satisfied about the Vulcan massing and overall building heights, and that there is no loss of amenity to neighbouring properties. That an outline construction environmental management plan is submitted, and that core strategy SP3 and the neighbourhood plan provision for 30% of affordable housing is met.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Okay, that's great. Can we vote on that recommendation? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Moving on to the second one. Free Park Lane, Councillor Lane. I know you had a quick look at this.
Yes, the amendment consists of an introduction of a utility room on the ground floor plans. The previous recommendation presented by Councillor Ankram was for approval, subject to the Conservation Officer being satisfied that the design and materials of the replacement cladding remain in line with the original application and existing building, and that the structural changes and removal of the interior structural beam is both appropriate and sound.
Thank you very much. Can I have a second? Thank you. Any debate on this? No? Well, can we vote on that then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. So the second one is exactly the same. It's just listed building consent, so we can move through that as well with the same recommendation. Number 4, Robbins Way, 14 Robbins Way, Councillor Shay.
Yes, thank you. This is just a revalidation of a previous application. It doesn't make change to the material application. We recommended for approval last time. I recommend we do so again.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. Councillor Clayton, with you, 14 Hillside Road.
Yes. This is a follow-up to an earlier application for which we recommended approval and which was granted a few weeks ago for a modest house at the bottom of the garden of 14 Hillside Road, facing into Serpentine Road in the down here. We recommended approval provided there was no overlooking and it didn't impact neighbouring gardens. The new application is taller It has an attic story, so the roof is quite a bit higher, and a lot more windows at high level, both in the attic story and in the first floor, looking sideways into neighbouring gardens. It is now a relatively larger house on a small plot compared to others in the road. It is possible that some of these problems, which we I think foresaw in our earlier comments on the previous approval, could be overcome by conditions. So I would like to recommend refusal unless conditions are in place, e.g., non-opening, obscure glazing for high-level windows, looking at neighbouring gardens, and removal of permitted development rights to prevent further increases in the roof height.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Yes, Councillor Campbell.
It's really a comment. I walk down that road quite a bit. Well, I walk up it because it's quite steep. And in fact, there are two rows of houses, one at the bottom and one at the top. And they've got one piece at the back.
Yep.
And there's a fence obviously along the road. And then this house is sort of halfway between the house at the top and the house at the bottom. It's eccentric in that it's not part of the road, as such.
Right.
But it did seem to make sense for you to have a house there if the land is available. I'm glad, I'm pleased with the recommendation you made because I feel the bulk needs to be looked at in relation to the houses that, these two rows of houses. That's my comment really.
I think that's a fair comment, partly because it's not too far out of whack with the house who's across the road. There's a plot across the road where a plot has been split, two houses. They're still bigger than this one. But those houses set down from the road.
Yes.
The gardens are down below the road level. This garden is at road level.
Yes.
And it will, if it were any higher, it would certainly shade the house at the bottom on Sealholder Road, because those houses are pretty shady anyway.
Really shady.
Yeah.
It's also it's also the only house, this proposed house is the only house on that side of the road, because all the other buildings are accessed from roads going like that. And it's the
the right recommendation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments? Can we vote then, please, for that? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. The next one is 38 the Dean, Councillor Brando.
Oh, right. I'm going to borrow this because I haven't got this in my notes. The proposal, this is the Dean, so as you turn off Oak Lane, you turn right into the Dean, and the road splits between, which is a small, it goes to the left down the Dean and to the right, Borchio Close, and in the V of the two roads, there's quite an elevated bit of land. The houses and the house in question here is on that corner plot, so it's got quite a big plot. I just borrowed this for a second.
Oh, that's all right.
The applicant wants to, the proposal is for a lower ground floor office studio with glazed link to living room, roof lights and insulation, fenestration and landscaping. And the intention is to design an office set back by 2 meters from the house and below the only flat piece of ground on the site by excavating down approximately 900 millimeters below the house finished floor level and filling 900 millimeters above the existing lawn level. So basically it's a sunken ground office. The southeastern elevation will be glass doors with glazed link into the living room and a lantern light central and new lawn level. There's no change to the existing building, which has already been extended actually over the garage in the past. The lawn, which is not visible from the road because there are hedges around, will be raised by about nearly a metre. But there are no neighbours around there. It's not going to make any difference to anybody. And this doesn't make any difference to the parking that's there. It won't affect your neighbours. And I recommend approval. It's sort of ingenious, actually. It's an ingenious. Yes, so I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do you have a second? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Carried. The next one, 6, Bradbourne Court, which I looked at. It's a lower ground floor office studio with glazed links to living room, roof lights and alterations, fenestration, landscaping. I looked at this, and this is actually an office at the bottom of the garden as well. That's what it looks like. And that's what the plans have provided. So the description doesn't actually describe what it is because it's an office studio at the bottom of the garden, which is 4 by 4.8 with a flat roof. It's got doors looking down the garden, so it's quite a large office, if you like, but there's no toilets or facilities like that. It's just a large room, basically. No windows in any bank, no overlooking. I don't see any issues. It's a dark coloured material. Difficult to see what it was, but it's quite dark. It's not brick built. So my recommendation was approval, providing the planning officer is satisfied with the materials used. Any comments or debate? Can we vote please then, all in favour? Thank you, carried. Councillor Dr Canny, One Rising Sun Cottages.
This is demolition of an existing storage building with associated landscaping, single-storey front extension and double-storey side extension. With internal alterations in roof lights and alterations to the fenestration. I think will fit nicely in the garden. It's below the Hawthorn Lane, which runs beside it. And so the foundations are rather. So the key important thing here is that the outside materials of the house should blend in with the neighbouring cottage in the terrace, as this is quite a landmark in Bradbourne Vale Road. These terrace of houses.
Okay,
And I recommend approval.
thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please, all in favour? Thank you. Carried. Councillor Gusty, 25 Rise.
This is for a two-storey rear extension to create an additional master bedroom at the first floor. The ground floor structure will be utilised to create the first floor extension and the roof lights. So as it says, there's already an existing first floor structure across the whole rear of the house, and the proposal is to extend part of that up to the first storey to create a bedroom. So it will be about halfway to the house, located in the middle with a gable end. But the footprint of the property doesn't change. The gable does have a triple glazed doors, but it appears from the drawings that it's not intended for it to be a balcony. It looks like they are those tilted fully glazed panes. So it's a modest extension over an existing footprint, no balcony. And my recommendation is approval subject to the planning officer being satisfied there's no loss of privacy or amenity to neighbours.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote please, all in favour? Thank you. Carried. 13 Cavendish, Councillor Howard relocated to Councillor Shay.
Yeah, and apologies for not putting anything in advance. I didn't spot the reallocation until this afternoon. But it is straightforward. 13 Cavendish Avenue is a detached house. It's had an extension, single-storey extension in the past. This is a replacement single-storey extension, comes out slightly further into the garden than the previous extension, but it is only single-storey with a lantern roof and won't be particularly visible to neighbours. I can say from personal experience, because I can see it from the back of our house, there are an awful lot of hedges in the vicinity. I can't see what's there now. I won't be able to see what's there in the future. I think that will be true for all neighbours. I recommend approval.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote please, all in favour? Thank you. Councillor Michaelides.
Thanks, Chair. So the proposal is for the partial garage conversion, alterations to rear elevation on ground floor, and addition of sun pipes to existing roof at the ground floor level. So number 48A is a detached 3-storey house on the north side of the drive, built in the 90s. It's not locally listed, but sits in the Vine Conservation Area. So it's a large family home, and there are no issues of overlooking. These are principally internal alterations and a few windows. With little impact on neighbours, they are intended to enhance the living amenities. So my recommendation is approval, provided the planning officer is satisfied with the designs and materials and the conservation officer is satisfied that there isn't a negative impact on a conservation area.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you. Any debate? Yes, Councillor Clayton.
This is presumably the loss of it. Is it a double or a single garage?
It's a, do you know what?
I think it's gonna be a double garage. I think it's a big house, yes, it's a big house going down and, Lot of
set
drive,
back,
lot of
yeah,
drive, yeah.
exactly, a lot of drive, sort of no. Basically
Right.
just reconfiguring the downstairs accommodation.
Okay, any further comments? Yes.
Just very quick one. I'm just looking at it. I didn't look at it before. I live on the drive, but obviously I don't know these people, so I haven't declared an interest. I think it goes. I think it's right next to the footpath that goes through. So
is it?
even if it's quite a large extension going downhill, which is where it is. It should be fine.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't
going
think
to
it's
over.
an
It's not going to
extension
loom
as
over
such,
anything.
yeah, it's a kind
It's
of
just over elevation. It's a build, they're going to
reconfiguring
build
of the
up.
garage to
Yes.
turn it into, and then they're putting some little side windows on it.
Okay, thanks. Just-
Okay, right, any further debate? Can we vote then, please, all in favour? Thank you. Gary, councillor Skinner.
Right, so this is 7 Marlborough, which is one of the roads off to the north of Mount Harry. Two-storey rear and side extension, loft conversion, roof lights and dormers, alterations to front window, mentioned port and canopy, alterations, demonstration, roof line, internal alterations, basic works, including landscaping and extended patio at the rear. Complicated site, with a narrow entrance widening out onto the garden. It's also on a steep slope, and I've given you the current proposed block plan. And I would like to emphasise quite how steep the slope is, and how it's going down the hill, because this is relevant in that the houses on either side, as you see, are quite close, but they're quite a bit higher than the house which is under discussion. I give you the current elevations and the planned elevations. Much of the site is nestled into the slope. Footprint of the house extends slightly into that garden. But in general, the business and neighbouring houses doesn't change. The house will increase in height and there will be more windows. However, these windows in general appear not to overlap neighbouring properties. In pre-application conversations, the planning officers advise ensuring that those that do are okay. And no trees will be affected by the development. House not listed, not the conservation area, and I recommend approval.
Thank you, and a second. Thank you. Any debate? Will we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Gary, the next one is 27 Lantry Walk, councillor Granville.
Okay, this is a proposal of remedial works of building, 27 Lantry Walk, to prevent water ingress at Slack Lakery, including, the roof tiles overhang, as they do on most, buildings, but they want to add another layer of roof tiles to make it the same as the other, houses in, Lime Tree Walk, because there isn't sufficient overhang to stop the water, penetrating the front of the house. So it's that, replace the lintel, which is rotten for that reason, replace some damaged brickwork for that reason, replace damaged render, internal alterations, which is actually making an opening between two rooms, which isn't there at the moment. It's a conservation area. They're minor but expensive works on this building at the extreme western end of Lime Tree Walk. The application's been referred to us because it's a Grade 2 listed townhouse within the Seven Oaks conservation area. They have a heritage statement, and actually the impact on the building is very little apart from preserving it. I think I've photographed the wrong building, actually. That's the one next to it, anyway. It's exactly the same problems. The internal alterations have no impact on on what the building looks like, and the external alteration shouldn't either. So I think it's great that this building's being upgraded, and I recommend approval, provided the conservation officer satisfies the content of the application.
Thank you, Brother Second. Thank you. Any debate? Can we vote then, please? All in favour? Thank you. Back to the agenda and any press release. No, I do not think we should have press release. Is there any press release? No? None?
Are we not going to, the press release, Mr. Councillor Clayton has put in something about the
It's not on the agenda.
Okay.
Not this committee.
So, If there's no press releases in relation to the agenda, thank you everyone, and I close the meeting at 19:25. Who wanted it done in half an hour? I voted for that.
I won the sweepstakes tonight.